The no-eyed man sings a song in the night of blissful days when his purpose was upright. He now stands in the chasm of the blight, harking weary souls, thus gaining his sight. Hello and welcome to an amazing monk build for patch 2.3 in Reaper of Souls. With two new playstyles added for monk that offer two distinct types of play, monk in this patch considered the way of 7-sided strike or the art of Shenlong's fury. But what if a madman were to tell you that you can combine both builds and tack a greater rift over 60 as a solo monk? What if you can play a 0 crit build and make your monk so tanky that his crits reach over 3 billion and his toughness exceeds 300 million? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not, because this build, so appropriately named Shenlong's Promise, will show you that everything is possible when playing a monk. Let's begin. Part 1 of this video will look at the gear set used for this build. Please note that all gear pieces are mandatory and there's very small room for altercations. So to start things off, you'll need a 2-piece Shenlong set with cooldown reduction and life on hit as a stats along with a gifted socket. Next up is a 2-piece bonus from Raymond's set that includes chest armor and shoulders, followed by a 2-piece Juliana's set that covers gloves and boots. Final set combo is focus and restraint with critical hit damage and cooldown reduction with the socket. For helm, you need a Leoric's crown with diamond, followed by a Hellfire amulet and a defensive passive. Your braces are either Pathan defenders or spirit guards. Belt slot is safely occupied by string of ears, and your pants are of course the depth diggers. The important point when wearing the gear set is to not have any critical hit chance and instead have cooldown reduction wherever possible. Items for your Kanai's cube are Flying Dragon, Spirit Guards or Pathan Defenders, and Broken Promises. Gems used for this build are Simplicity Strength, Bane of the Trapped, and Gogok of Swiftness. A few side notes on gear include having around 40k life on hit, 1100 all resistant, and a cooldown reduction of 68%. A more detailed guide on gear will be published on this channel shortly, but to find out more about the gear set, follow the link to my armory in the description. Part 2 of this video is about the build. On surface it looks like a generic Shenlong's build, but there's much more to it. Your primary attack is Crippling Wave Mangle followed by Cyclone Strike Wall of Wind. Your next skill is Breath of Heaven infused with light and Inner Sanctuary Forbidden Palace. Epiphany with Desert Shroud adds more toughness to your monk along with Mantra of Salvation Agility for evasion galore. Passives are Sixth Sense, Alacrity, Harmony and Exalted Soul. The 5th passive from Q can be Determination if you get lucky. Now it's time to find out how this build works, as part 3 covers the gameplay of this build. Shenlong's Promise is the name given to this build for a very specific reason. You combine the damage from Shenlong's set with AoE potential of Juliana's 2-piece to make your monk into an AoE demigod. Using Broken Promises allows your monk to deal tons of damage and tank up by removing crit chance for defensive stats like cooldown reduction. This means your monk hits hard and can tank everything thrown at you. But like always, let's break this into 2 sections. Damage dealing and survivability. First, the damage. Your monk uses Crippling Wave's fire damage to hit everyone around him. This damage is amplified by your gem, depth diggers and fire damage stacked on your gear. When your spirit reaches maximum, your crits can rise up to 3 billion, which of course deals damage in an AoE. But that's not it. The 2-piece bonus from Juliana's allow monk to apply the base effect of Exploding Palm to all the enemies hit with your Crippling Wave. As your monk deals damage, his spirit is kept maximum thanks to Breath of Heaven, and his damage is further amplified by Inner Sanctuary and procs from Focus and Restraint. So you see that dealing DPS is easy as holding down the left mouse button. So next up is survivability. This is achieved initially by stacking defensive stats on gear thanks to Broken Promise freeing up a slot, but more importantly by skills used in conjunction with your items. Cyclone Strike pulling enemies inwards applied the defensive buff from Pathan Defenders, which stacks with toughness from Inner Sanctuary and Epiphany. So a monk that is fully buffed in the heat of battle can reach a toughness exceeding 300 million, which makes Arcane Beam merely a laser show. Finally, let's talk about the playstyle. A monk playing with this build engages enemies by pulling them inwards with Cyclone Strike and casting Inner Sanctuary afterwards. This allows monk to gather all foes and deal damage by applying palms and hitting them with Crippling Wave. The cooldown reduction on your gear allows monk to keep Breath of Heaven, Inner Sanctuary and Epiphany up permanently, and Flying Dragon ensures that there is little to none downtime in crit. So such is Shenlong's Promise, a build that makes you tanky and help you clear greater rifts in style. Even my monk cleared a 57 with weak Shenlong's Fist, Imagine what you can do when you farm an ancient pair of your own. This has been the Holy Hermit for you. Take care and remember to chant the mantra when standing in a circle. For what good are fists when one's soul is impure?